And we are live. Welcome back to CYPTV. Let's not hesitate and jump right into these sus tick.
Y'all, I don't know who she playing with, but it's an invisible person, and they're tickling her. Stop.
Who play on you, baby?
And I pray so much, it can't be no bad spirit in here. Cause I pray so much over this house.
Hey, you play with your granny? You play with your granny? You play with your granny?
She is really interacting. Oh my goodness.
Now that's proof right there, right? That ghosts really do exist. See, that's the scary thing about robots, right? That they do stuff like that and start bugging out. They trip and start bugging out.
Javier also claims our two worlds are connected. He's able to interact with objects in his world, which affects objects here. For example, a Spanish television show challenged Javier by leaving a book hidden on their set and told him to find it and move it. He did.
Te reto a que vengas aquí, al hormiguero. Aquí siempre hay gente trabajando a todas horas, desde por la mañana hasta por la noche, tenemos seguridad 24 horas, sí que es imposible que nadie pueda entrar. Mi reto es el siguiente, voy a colocar mi libro, Oh My God. Mira, voy a meter el libro aquí, lo escondo, y tú vienes y lo coges, ¿vale? Aquí viene, mira, ¿ves? ¡Pum! Ahí está. A ver si eres tan listo, lo consigues encontrar aquí en el hormiguero y me lo enseñas.
And when the studio went back to watch the security footage, you can see the door open and close. And just for a quick moment, you see some kind of figure flash by.
Mira, mira, mira. Es que te lo digo que lo vas a flipar. Mira, 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 mira. ¡Ay, ay, 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 ay! ¡Míralo! ¡Míralo! ¡Mira eso!
No, 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 no.
¡Míralo! ¡Míralo!
No, pero ahí hay algo.
Te lo dije, mira.
Ahí hay algo, ¿eh?
Viernes 13, viernes 21 a las 13.
Running away is easy. I figure we might as well talk about this, seeing as this is a very current event. This TikTok video that I got tagged in shows a person walking on the beach, but there's one major problem. The ocean is nowhere to be seen, and a lot of people were freaking out because there were major tsunami warnings for California and pretty much the entire western seaboard. If you guys weren't aware, very recently, within the last 24 hours, off the coast of eastern Russia, there was a very large magnitude 8.8 earthquake that hit. This earthquake caused a great deal of concern because usually tsunamis follow earthquakes. In Russia, there were waves of up to 13 feet, so issued to the United States western coast was a tsunami warning. Waves caused from the earthquake have since been coming in, however they are not very large, most of them are only a few feet tall, and a lot of the warnings here have been kind of taken down a notch. They're not being taken as seriously. So if I had to guess, I would say that the person who filmed this is completely safe, considering the size of the waves that have been hitting are very small.
If you enjoy content like this, I put out several videos a week. It'll be amazing if you hit the subscribe button and join me in the next video.
Have detected something strange. A massive anomaly in the mantle, nearly 400 kilometers wide and sitting 200 kilometers below the surface, has been quietly rising. For years, scientists believed it was a product of edge-driven convection, triggered by contrasts in the continental crust. But that theory never made sense. This is an ancient, stable region with no recent tectonic activity. Now researchers believe the source may lie nearly 2,000 kilometers away, in the Labrador Sea. Around 85 million years ago, that part of the continent began to rift and break apart. As the land stretched and split, it sent a wave of instability moving inland. Like a slow-motion chain reaction, dense material began to peel away from the bottom of the continent. This process, known as a Rayleigh-Taylor instability, travels deep beneath the surface at around 20 kilometers per million years. Using geological models, seismic data, and computer simulations, scientists have tracked this hidden wave across the continent. Its position, size, and timing all match perfectly with the seismic anomaly now beneath New England. And it's not alone. A second, weaker anomaly lies further south. Another sits beneath Greenland. All three appear to be linked to the same rifting event. Their positions, depths, and ages all align with a migrating chain of mantle instabilities that began during the breakup of the Labrador Sea. This model offers a unified explanation for multiple deep Earth anomalies across thousands of kilometers, each one a delayed consequence of ancient tectonic rupture.
Has summer been different, or is it just me? Like, has the heat been more unbearable than usual, or is it just me? Like, I can't explain it. Like, summers in the past, like, yeah, it was hot, but like, it was still manageable to be outside. This summer seems more different than other summers. I can't really put my finger on it, but the heat just seems unbearable. Like, it feels like an oven. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I really can't explain what's going on. And I know some people have noticed that the sun seems a lot more different and hotter than usual. So I don't know what is going on. I really don't. But this summer really does seem a lot more different than usual. Like, it seems a lot more hotter and a lot more unbearable. Does anyone else feel like this?
I do believe that the summer was a little bit more hotter this year than in others, but it's bound to spike up and go down. It's irregular. Like, it's Mother Nature. You can't predict the weather, and the weather is getting more extreme. It's just time to prepare.
We were talking about the price of eggs.
Yeah, those organic eggs are really super expensive. But at Walmart, the Great Value brand, you can get a dozen for $1.39. At Target, you can get a dozen for $2.79 or 18 for $4.79. See, I just helped you out.
This man has proof that we are being spied on by technology. Watch this, y'all.
I was looking over my room for something to test this if my TV's watching me. Theory is, I've never seen a Lego commercial.
We've all experienced this.
Never been presented to me. I've seen the commercials around my son, but I've never seen ads, Lego ads or anything like that. So I played with some Legos in front of the TV. I just said the word Lego 1,000 times and was just holding it, showing it to the TV like Lego, 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 Lego. Lo and behold.
They are listening to us 100%, y'all. Stay weird.
Yes, technology is spying on us. But the question is, who? These private companies, these big companies behind these technologies, or the government? Let me know what you think down in the comments.
time. Grass. Use the sidewalk. Sir, you're not listening. Use the side. Use the side. Are you okay? Are you okay?
As humans, we absorb people's energy. So if I call you about my problems, you're gonna absorb it, and then you're gonna become emotionally attached to my experience. So instead of going to another human and dumping on them, I go to the trees where they want it. Trees are in such a harmonious state all the time that when you come to the trees and you bring negative energy, they like it because it gives them something new to decipher and learn from.
Bro. What? The actor Malcolm Jamal Warner has died. First of all, rest in peace to him. He seemed like a very stand-up guy, positive role model. But I looked into this whole thing and it gets weird. First, let's start with the age he died at, which is 54. 5 plus 4 is 9. You guys know about my 9 videos, and 9 is the number of completion. But also, the show that he was famous for, The Cosby Show, in gematria equals up to 54 as well. Then let's go to the date he actually died on, which is July 20th, which is the 201st day of the year. Yeah, can anybody tell me why The Cosby Show ran for a total of 8 seasons, equaling 201 episodes? How? In which is the same number as this event, Event 201, which was a simulation of COVID in October of 2019, right before they actually had COVID. Something tells me that we have to watch for this number in future events. Now, speaking of 9 and 201, Ozzy Osbourne has just died as well. He just performed his last concert just a couple weeks ago called Back to the Beginning, which is an odd title like they almost knew. But here's the thing. The attendance of that venue is 45,000. 4 plus 5 is 9. Now, you could call that coincidence, but here's the thing. His full name in gematria is also 201. What are the chances, right? Make sure you guys get into my Break the Matrix community because I have a whole decode section just for stuff like
You gotta understand, Pusha T and Kendrick Lamar and J. Cole are all blue pill. Ye and Drake are red pill. What side y'all on? What side y'all wanna be on? Come on.
As there's another one, Lucifer's Pizza. Lovely, absolutely lovely. Isn't it amazing in LA? Look at the devil. Hey, Jesus. Have mercy on us. What and wah.
That's an establishment I will not support.
I ain't gonna lie, I'm on YouTube watching these videos. Like, you gotta be careful. Just walk right in. That's crazy. What you see on monitor? Insane.
There is a very, very, very high probability that none of this is even real. None of it. None of it. You see this orange? You see it? Do you really?
This orange is only orange because of the photoreceptors your eyes are picking up the wavelengths from the signal of the light, and it's sending it to your brain and transferring it to make you see the orange, which is a program. Your brain is programmed to do that. It's a program, right? Photoreceptors, signals, light, eyes, orange. Boom. You get it? All right. The only reason you see this much orange is because of what your brain is programmed to do by taking in light. That sounds pretty familiar, don't it? Being able to process and understand something because of an information input, right? Chat GPT, AI. Sounds familiar, real. Consciousness. Oh, ow, I'm here. Consciousness. You only do that because you're conscious. There's no reality for you for a person that's not conscious. If you're not conscious, it don't work. Your brain is programmed to be able to understand the feeling of pain. It's a program. That's the only reason you understand what the reality is, or why you are even a person, or even just know anything. Who the is thinking? You or your brain? If your brain is the thing that perceives information and signals to bring reality into fruition, who the is thinking? You or the brain? Are you thinking the brain's thoughts, or is the thoughts perceiving the thoughts of being thought? I know that sounds crazy. It's there, okay?
So the Colorado dentist who slowly poisoned his wife over a 10-day span, he finally got convicted of first-degree murder. I made a video saying I'm not better than anybody. He's an exception. I'm better than him. So this guy right here, James Craig, 47, a dentist from Colorado, slowly poisoned his wife over a 10-day period till she passed away. By the way, did you look at his head? He's got a misshapen head. Yeah, he does. That's besides the point for now. Angela Craig, the victim, was 43 years old and the mother of 6 children. I don't know if they were his kids, and I don't care, but she had 6 children. And he poisoned her slowly, where she was having headaches, dizziness, and vomiting. Look, there's a thing called a crime of passion, which I also don't agree with. Spur of the moment stuff can happen if you're a complete dirtball. On the other hand, poisoning your wife over a 10-day period while you're watching her suffer is pretty much pure evil. Now, I don't know why he did it, but usually stuff like this in marriages, the person who ends the spouse's life doesn't want to get a divorce because they don't want to lose their stuff. Well, James here lost his stuff and his freedom because he'll be spending the rest of his life in prison, where he belongs. Okay, Booshkies, I saw this story and it was so disturbing I thought, might as well share it with you. Shabadoo, Booshkies. Shabadoo.
That story is disturbing. It's sinister. How you murder somebody you love slowly like that by poisoning them. Basically watching them die slowly. That's alright though. He got convicted. Life will correct him. Jail will show him the same punishment. Heed my words.
Why is the media not talking about the fact that we're having mass shootings happening every single day? Philadelphia just happened right behind me. Manhattan, Reno, Nevada. But it gets a whole lot weirder than just that. Wait, I'll show you. Supposedly, this is the guy who just shot 4 people today, including 2 children in Philadelphia. But the Reno, Nevada one that also just happened, like all of them, was really weird. 2 of the victims in Nevada were both age 33 while coming back to town for a party. That sounds a little familiar, right? Because just 2 days ago in Midtown Manhattan, we had that guy who went right into the front door with that thing in his hand and go all the way up to the 33rd floor. And it gets even weirder, but we'll go over that in a second. I'm only showing you 3 out of the last 3 days. It goes back for months every single day where I'd even made 4 or 5 videos about why people are all going insane at the same exact time. Because it's happening all over the world as well. And other insane off-the-wall acts of violence. End-time headlines that a councilman was literally set on with gasoline. In 1000% unrelevant, not related at all, and other news, it matches the Schumann frequency. I have been watching these charts for years. In the last few months, about the last 6 months, we keep seeing patterns we've never ever seen before. Not to mention losing time completely all of a sudden, allegedly. And by the way, the Schumann frequency also matches the solar flares. But that's not all. It also matches the earthquakes and the volcanoes and the floods and the clouds. Y'all, what in the world is actually going on? Like, I believe this was Poland, but this happened about 20 times over the last 7 days. Pretty weird, huh?
Yeah, it's like we live in a different world, right? Or shall I say, a different dimension?
This is the daily earthquake report for July 30th, 2025. We've been covering the Kamchatka earthquake crisis since the moment it began. 4 separate videos are already live on our page, documenting the magnitude 8.8 main event, the tsunami, and the wave of aftershocks that followed. It's no surprise that tonight's earthquake report is focused entirely on this unprecedented sequence. Just 1 minute after the initial 8.8, a powerful magnitude 7.2 struck the same region. What followed was a chain of major aftershocks, including a 6.9, 6.3, 6.2, 6.1, and 6.0, all within the first hour. Since then, more than 100 earthquakes have been recorded across Kamchatka, the Kurils, and the wider Western Pacific. The swarm has now continued for over 22 hours, marking one of the most intense seismic episodes in modern history. Tsunami impacts were confirmed across the Pacific. Hawaii issued a full warning, with waves reaching 4 feet. Japan recorded 1.3-meter waves and evacuated over 2 million people. Coastal flooding was confirmed in Russia. A tsunami watch was also issued for Crescent City, California. Aftershocks are still ongoing. We are continuing to monitor the situation and will report anything new as it happens.
Next commercial.
Look, I didn't ask to be the king of summer. It just kind of happened. This tan? Genetics. I just got my color analysis back. Guess what? Golden summer. Literally. I can't help it. Every time I drink a Dunkin' Golden Hour refresher, it's like the sun just finds me. So if sipping these refreshers makes me the king of summer, guilty as charged.
No, but seriously, why are we talking about genetics when referring to a refresher, a drink from Dunkin' Donuts? And don't play in my face and say it's not a big deal. There is do you know the vetting process commercials have to go through? It's not like a one-off sort of thing. There are so many checks and balances to getting these commercials agreed to and checked off and good to go and filmed. They released that right after the Sydney Sweeney thing. Right after. Why are we talking about his skin color? Why are we talking? And it's not lost on me. This is coming from another palm-colored American with blue eyes. And they will sit here and play in our face and tell us that we're crazy for catching on to these things. That's straight up eugenics. I hate it.
I made a mistake.
Well, everybody's going to get in trouble. It's a question of how do you get out of trouble? Mm-hmm. And I did it by working smart. More importantly than anything else is by using my own brain. And, I've done things, but I'm not in any trouble, and I'm doing well, and I'm making money.
Well, you're making the same mistakes that I am. You may just be able to hide yours a little bit better.
Perhaps not. I don't know. I don't know. See, one of the problems with politics and politicians is that you really can't have done very much wrong, and that means you can't have done very much.
So Janae had a problem. Who's Janae, you ask? Great question. She was a contestant on a show called Love Island. Now, before some of you macho men say, nah, I ain't watching Love Island stuff, stop it. You're not fooling anybody. I know you want to hear this story. It's a good one. Where was I? She was a contestant on a show called Love Island, and she was a very popular one at that. Now, I'm sure you noticed this dude around her. His name is Kenny. They were a match on the show. They decided to date in real life. And date they did. They was going around. They were looking like they was having a good time, posting pictures, all that. Now, something very important to note is that the girls from this season of Love Island were very, very popular. Keep that in mind. All right, so again, Kenny, Janae, they date for a year. Suddenly, Janae says, look, you know what? Me and Kenny are breaking up. Janae then says, and by the way, I've seen all the guesses as to why we broke up, but trust me, y'all, it's worse than y'all think. And she was right, because here's where things start to get wicked. Kenny decides to come out with a post saying, breakups are never, that's how he sound, on God, that's how he sound. Breakups are never easy. I really like Janae. Sometimes people just drift apart. Janae comes out with another post saying, so you just gonna lie? He said, She said, yeah, you just gonna lie. He said, lie about what? That's what I be talking about. Y'all be playing. Janae's best friend comes out with a post saying, you know, we've dead and all that. We just gonna come out with the truth. My advice, if you're a woman, go through your man's phone if you have access. She's basically saying, this is what they saw on Kenny's phone, okay? They saw the words, I don't like black women. Janae, clearly the woman he's talking about. It says, I thought I would get more money from this. Remember, the women from that past season of Love Island were very, very popular. So Kenny being attached to Janae makes him popular in a sense. I'm faking this relationship. Couldn't get any more clear than that. Going on the show would be for clout. I can't wait to be done with this so I can, you know, get down and dirty. Again, they found this on Kenny's phone. Now, before all of this came out, people noticed that all of the cast members from that season of Love Island, including the guys, unfollowed Kenny. That's pretty significant because it shows from the cast members' perspective, the people closest to them, the people closest to the story, there's a good guy and there's a bad guy. So he did probably have this stuff on his phone and he hasn't responded to this yet. They probably got screenshots, so he probably can't deny some of this stuff. But to me, this whole thing kind of shows how far people would go for what they view as like fame. Like, bro was in a relationship for a whole year. He was in deep. On the show, he seemed like the nicest guy. That's how he talked. Again, like he went in deep. Like a whole year pretending to be somebody you're not, being with somebody you hate just to get some clout from them is kind of weird.